Hi, and welcome to the Gardening Me. I'm Margaret, and today I am going to be sowing some carrots to harvest in the fall. Now, normally I would sow these way back in late spring, kind of May-ish. And this year I didn't get around to that because of all the things that had to be done in the vegetable garden. So I decided to try something new. I'm not sure whether I've ever sown carrots mid-season before, but I'm doing that this year. The thing though with sowing in the later half of the summer versus in the spring is that instead of days getting longer like they do in the spring, they're actually getting shorter going towards the fall. So what happens is when you sow things in the middle of summer, generally speaking, they'll take a little bit longer to mature because they'll be reaching maturity during the shorter days of fall. So what I did was I actually went through all my packets and I decided to sow 4 varieties, all of which mature in between 50 to 65 days. With the carrots, what that means is with the 50 to 65 day maturity length, I'm looking at the end of September. So that is still at least a week or so out from my last frost date. But even on top of that, the thing with carrots is that they actually appreciate the cold of a nice frosty day, and it actually makes them get a lot sweeter. So I will probably end up leaving these in the ground, and they will probably continue to grow a bit because sometimes our weather is a little up and down. So you may get a few cool days or a light frost, but then you'll have a couple of weeks of warm weather. So these will probably stay in the ground at least until mid-October, even end of October. Before I reposition the camera, let me show you, or talk about, or both, the carrots that I am growing. So 3 of these are varieties I've actually already grown before and that I quite enjoyed. And the last one is a new to me variety that I have not grown. So first, the ones that I have grown. The first one is Mokum, and this one is from Pine Tree Seeds, and it is a 54 day to maturity variety, and it develops roots that are about 6 inches long, so a pretty good size. And apparently Southerners say that this is one of the best varieties for their region. I must have read that somewhere. That was kind of in my notes. So a great one, I would think, to grow in the middle of summer when you have temperatures in the 30s. The next variety I'm growing is a variety from William Dam Seeds, and it's called Yaya Hybrid. And this one is 62 days to maturity, and it develops roots that are 7 to 8 inches long. I grew a bunch of carrots several years ago, and I kind of compared the flavors of all the ones I was growing. I think I grew 6 varieties or something like this, and this was one of them. And this came in second in terms of the overall flavor. It was really good. And what I also found about this one was that it actually got sweeter in storage. So I put it in my cold cellar, which is cold, after I harvested them in the fall. And over the next few months, they got quite a bit sweeter than they even were when I harvested them, which was pretty sweet to begin with. So these were really good. I quite like them. These 2 are kind of old though. So I'm going to use up all of the seeds in here. I'm not even going to bother spacing them per se. I'm just going to sprinkle a row of them, and hopefully I can get some good germination from them. The last variety that I've grown before was actually on the top of the list when I had that comparison, and it's called Purple Haze, and it is a gorgeous carrot. But let me tell you about colorful carrots. What I found in the past is that carrots that were colorful, that were not your standard orange carrot, most of the time I found that they really lacked in flavor. They weren't as flavorful as your boring orange carrot. But I found actually this Purple Haze variety was outstanding. And in fact, in that trial that I did where I was tasting all those 6 varieties, I found it to be the best when it came to flavor. It was outstanding, really, really good. And it's also a gorgeous carrot on the outside as well as on the inside. When you cut it, it has the purple kind of melts into the middle, and I know I have a picture of that. What I didn't say about this, because I got so excited, this is, like I said, one of my favorites, is that this one is a 65-day carrot. It's an All-American Selections winner, and it has roots that are 10 to 12 inches long. So the last one, and this is the variety I've never grown before, and this I got from Fedco Seeds just this year, and it's called Aranka. This one is a 56-day to maturity variety, and it says it has excellent sweetness and texture, and it's a tiny bit of a shorter one at 4.5 to 5.5 inches long, but it does say they are quick to size up. So another one that's perfect for a mid-July sowing. So now I'm going to turn the camera around and point it towards the bed, and I am going to get sowing. The sun is going to be down soon, and I don't want to be doing this in the dark. Okay, so here we are. Carrots don't need a lot of fertilizer, so I just have a little bit of Sustain, which is an organic fertilizer, and I believe it's a 454, and also some kelp meal, which is great for the micronutrients. I'm going to sprinkle this all over the bed, and I'm just going to lightly work it into the top inch or so of soil. Not even inch, maybe half an inch. Now I'm going to take my measuring sticks. I'm going to put a couple on the side here, like that. And I usually space carrots about 3 inches apart. You'll see on packets anywhere from 2 to 4 inches apart. So I think 3 inches is a good kind of medium spacing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my little marker here at about the 3-inch mark, like this, just going across. And I'm just going to make a little row, a little divot, like this. It doesn't have to be too deep. Like maybe a 1/4 inch deep or so is more than enough. So now I have my first row down, and I am going to start with let's start with the Yaya. This is from 2018. Carrot seeds do last quite a few years, but that's 4 years. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, you know what? I'm actually looking at these. I basically have no seeds. I thought I had quite a few of these, but it doesn't look like it. Oh, well, that's disappointing. I think I have how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 seeds. So I'm going to go like this just for the spacing on the seeds here. Just like that. And so I'm going to go 3 in. So 3 inches in, and then just put 1 every 3 inches. So I guess for this, because normally I would account for some that don't germinate, but because I literally only have 12 seeds, I'm just going to put all 12 seeds in this row, spacing them more or less apart correctly, and hope that most of them come up. Okay, I didn't even get an entire row for this. Ooh, well, that's okay. So now I'm just gonna gently cover that up. Like that, just pushing the soil that I pushed aside when I built the row. And now I am gonna mark it with a tag. And I'm just going to go on to my next row now. The next one I'm going to do is the Mokum. This as well is pretty old. I think this is around the same, 2018. So we'll see how many I have of these. As well, not too many, it looks like. I think I have enough here where I am going to go with double spacing. So that's basically one every 1.5 inches or so. I'm not going to be too fussy about being 1.5 inches. Especially, yeah, I'm actually even going to take this off. I can eyeball 1.5 inches. In fact, I'm getting a little lazy and I'm sprinkling them on. Just so that I get like a full row here. There you go. So that's that one. And that does it for Mokum as well. So I forgot to put my mic on. So apologies for that right now. The Mokum is all in. I'm just going to now just lightly cover. Next, I am going to do the purple haze. This one I like so much that there's no issue with not having any, because I have my original packet from 2017, but I also have another new packet here as well. I'm going to mark the row. Again, I'm going to go 3 inches out, approximately like that. I'm going to do a little bit of a furrow, and I'm just going to sprinkle them about every 1.5 inches or so. For stuff like this, I mean, sometimes I'm very exact. I'll get out the ruler. I will go exactly 1.5 inches apart. And other times I'm not feeling it and I just decide, well, I really don't want to go to the trouble. It's all fine. It's all good. I'm going to eyeball the next row as well, about 3 inches out. And I'm not even going to cover that one yet, just so that I can see where that one was when I was putting the second one. Oh, I'm dropping a little bit too many seeds here. I'm doing like doubles. I don't want to do doubles if I could avoid it. Because purple haze is a favorite, I am going to do 3 rows of it. There you go, 3rd row. And I'm not sure if I explained, but with the 3-inch spacing, what I do is I sow the carrot seeds 1.5 inches apart, and then I thin them to 3 inches, and that way that gives me some flexibility in case germination isn't that great. And now I'm actually not going to cover that one up yet. I'm going to do the last row. I'm just going to do 1 row of the Aranka. Okay, and then this last Aranka one, just get that covered up and pat it down. Perfect. So now is my last little tip for one of the things that people have the most issues with when they're sowing carrots, and that's either in the spring or now, and that is that they generally take their sweet time in germinating. And the problem is, because they are sown relatively close to the surface, how do you keep the bed moist, especially in temperatures like we're having now, pretty hot, during that time period? Because quite frankly, you water it in the morning, or I do, and by midday it's already partially dried out. Some people cover the rows with boards, but what I prefer to do is something a little different, and that is use this. And this is fleece, agricultural fleece, Agribon, Rime. It has all kinds of different names. And what I do is I basically am going to lay down a double layer of this down here. I'm gonna put rebar around the edges. You can use stones, you can use whatever you have on hand, just to weigh down the edges so it doesn't blow away. And after that, I will water. And one of the benefits of doing it this way as well is that when you water, once again, because the seeds are so close to the surface, this ensures that you don't get the seeds washing away, because the water's hitting this and then kind of filtering down into the soil. So your seeds will stay right where they're supposed to. And I will water with this at least once a day. Normally, I would say once a day is fine, but with the heat we've been having, I'll probably be out here in the morning and in the evening, just giving it a once over with the watering wand. So let's get this on. I have been doing the irrigation for the last week, 2 weeks. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a while. And it has been such a slog because the temperatures have been high. It's so hot lately. We're looking at temperatures in the 30s every single day with no rain. I think we've gotten, did we get any rain recently? If we did, it was a sprinkle. I think we got a sprinkle last week, and I'm talking it barely got the top layer of soil wet. And before that, I think it's been at least 2-3 weeks. And with such hot temperatures, I will come out here, I'll do a little bit of work on the irrigation, and then I will go back inside for 20 minutes, and then I'll come back out for half an hour or so, do a little bit more work. So it's taken a long time, but I am almost near the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see it. So yeah, and I have to say, right now we have running water down here. We have running water on the hilltop. It's a little bit late for the hilltop, I gotta say, because none of that stuff has been watered up until now, and it's a sorry sight. But I will be, as soon as I'm finished the irrigation, I'm just going to be cleaning that up and chalking it up to a bad year. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.